If you're feeling overwhelmed as a live streamer, we're going to get into my top tips for time management right now. That's a little difficult to say. What's up, streamers? It's ashnichrist. I'm all about helping you pursue your dreams and learn to stream, and thank God for time management, because without it, there is no way that I could get done everything that I do. So I actually have a weekly podcast. I post 3 videos a week here on YouTube. I stream 3 times a week over on Twitch. I do a ton of things to manage my personal brand, and I'm also working on 2 businesses. It is a lot, but I love it. So I'm going to give you the best advice that I have for managing all of these things and how I do it. And if you're a live streamer who wants to get better at time management, or if you're just into getting better as a streamer in general, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below and click the bell so we can take over our platforms together. Mwahahaha. So there are a few things that I do to manage my crazy schedule, and I'm going to give you my favorite thing first, and that is themed days. So why are theme days so important and so useful? Well, the American Psychological Association actually found a productivity loss of 40% during multitasking. So this means we need to stop multitasking as much as possible. Hi, Mom. So stop multitasking. Instead, try to focus on one task at a time. I personally do this through themed days. I've also noticed that doing my creative work in the morning and my more managerial tasks in the evening is actually a better way for me to be more productive during those creative tasks, because creativity is a finite resource, so we want to get through it as quickly as we can. So what does this actually look like for me? I'm going to go deeper into this in a future video, but for now, just as a general overview, Sundays are my YouTube planning days. So this is a time where I really sit down and I focus on 3 tasks to get my YouTube all planned out for Monday, which is where I batch record YouTube and podcast episodes and just all the other content that needs to come out in the following week. Tuesday is whenever I plan out my streams, and to plan the streams, I'll sit down and think of like either podcast guests that I want to have on or other presentations that I want to do during the stream. Then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, those are actual stream days. So I try not to do anything before or after stream on those days, especially after, because that's really my time to relax and recuperate. Before the streams, I will sometimes do a little bit of work that is just very basic, no meetings, no like having to talk to anyone. I like to keep my voice rested as much as I possibly can. And then Saturday is whenever I focus on my projects. So those 2 businesses that I'm trying to start, that's really the day where I focus all of my time on that. So theming your days out like this is extremely important because it helps you make sure that you are not multitasking, that you are focusing in on your projects, and you're also still getting everything done that you need to get done because it is scheduled into your week. So the next thing that I focus on is delegation, okay? So delegating the tasks that you don't like, that you hate, or things that you're not good at. There's no reason for you to do things that you don't enjoy or that you're not good at, because there's always going to be someone out there that either enjoys it or is good at it. I've got a video coming out soon about the team that is actually behind my content. So there are editors and writers and designers, there's a podcast editor, there's community managers. So we've got a video coming out about that soon, but for now I will let you know that our most useful tool is Trello. And if you haven't used it yet, head to the link below in the description, because Trello is seriously amazing and so helpful and so useful for us. And I'll do another video too in the future about productivity apps and different tools that I use. So make sure that you hit subscribe and click the bell so that you will be notified when that one comes out too, okay? Something that I think is really important whenever it comes to time management is that you're still scheduling time for you. So you need your me time, you need your adulting time, you still need to have time where you are going to the gym, you're eating healthy, and you're taking care of your body, because your body is the thing that is going to get you through the rest of your life. Just because we are spending a ton of time in content creation does not mean that we need to neglect our health and our wellness, which includes our mental wellness as well. So scheduling in this me time is actually all part of setting your personal boundaries as a content creator, which we actually already did a video over. So if you want to learn more about setting up personal boundaries, you can check that out right up here. Another thing that's really important is getting really clear on what your goals are, knowing those goals, and saying no if something doesn't actually serve those goals. I actually have a few documents over on evernote.com, which there's a link for that below if you haven't used Evernote before. It's amazing. But those documents are about my personal goals, myself in 5 years, my perfect dream life, and I like to look at those from time to time to make sure that I'm staying on track with the things and the experiences that I want to have in my life. Now, knowing your goals, in my opinion, is a lot easier than saying no to things that aren't going to serve your goals, because in the beginning, you're going to be tempted to say yes to literally every opportunity that comes to you, and I actually think that that's a great way to get yourself and your content, who you are, in front of more people, is just saying yes a lot. But at some point, you are going to have to say no, and this is actually another video that has been requested that we're going to have to do in the future. It's not up now, but it's definitely something that we need to talk about. Now, another helpful thing that I can introduce you to here whenever it comes to knowing your goals and setting up different goals and focusing on what to actually freaking work on is the Pareto principle. So the Pareto principle means that 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your efforts. And likewise, 20% of your results are going to come from 80% of your efforts. So being able to identify where those numbers lie, what's actually the most impactful thing for you as a creator, how can you focus on that more and make it better, what are people really resonating with? That is such a huge piece of this process, in my opinion, and something that we should all probably spend a little bit more time sitting down and focusing on. Now, it wouldn't be a good time management video if we didn't talk about automation, right? There are several tools that I use for automation, like Later.com, Zapier, MailChimp. There's a lot of different useful things for you out there, but this is something that you want to spend a little time getting familiar with because, my friends, okay, if you are in content creation, especially live streaming, you are in the business of building relationships. However, you cannot automate relationships. You want to automate the processes, not relationships. So you need to be asking yourself a question here like, how can I automate my social media? How can I automate my YouTube? How can I automate anything about my streams? What are those opportunities that I have to make software do the work for me so I don't have to worry about it? Speaking of automation and software, I actually really encourage everyone, regardless if your social media is popping or not, to turn off your push notifications. If you're theming out your days and you're really just in the thick of work and you've got a really good solid flow going and then you get a push notification from Twitter on your phone, it is very difficult to say no to that interaction because that is an immediate dopamine boost that we get in our brains that makes us really excited, right? Like someone's interacting with our stuff. So that can be a huge distraction as well as email. So this is actually a trick that I picked up from Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Workweek. This is a book that I will link down below, but it's absolutely amazing, and he talks about how even though his inbox is overflowing with emails, he only checks email once or twice a day. In fact, this book in general is just a great book to pick up if you want to learn more about how to be more productive and better time management in general. Like, solid book, Tim. Way to go, dude. What I really picked up from this book is scheduling your social media time and your email time. So those are two things that can be massively distracting, as we all know. And the way that I like to do this is that I'll spend like 30 minutes in the morning really getting the bulk of my email out of the way, as well as emailing and reaching out for new opportunities. And then I'll check it once later in the afternoon for about 5 minutes. And with social media, I automate everything as much as I possibly can. However, there are still times when I will get on social media to interact with other people because it is a huge part of my content process, and I am just a very active social media person because it gets the brand out there, the videos out there, the help out there in front of more people. But that works for me. It may not work for you. If it doesn't work for you, there are a couple of videos that I've actually made to help you get better with the social media, or if it just doesn't work and you've tried everything and you're just not naturally like decent at it, even not naturally, even after you've learned it, you're just not decent at it, then maybe you need to look at a different way for you to get your content in front of people. Another huge tip that I have for social media is to use your inspired time more productively. So what does this mean? This means that there are absolutely days and times where I feel more inclined to want to tweet, to want to make Instagram posts and stories, and there are days where I just don't freaking feel like it, and that's normal. In those times when I am feeling very inspired, usually what I'll do is I'll sit down and I'll actually draft out maybe 5 or 6 tweets that I can just send out into the world whenever I know I need to post something, but I just haven't been feeling as inclined. So I'm curious, what's the one tip here that has helped you the most, or what do you guys want to learn about next? Let me know down below in the comments, and if you need some additional help, head over to our Patreon. There's a link for that below. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!